Coming in, you guys, we're getting ready to have an interview with Logan Delgado. He is Goody Beats. If you've been in the low carb keto community for a little bit, you might know Logan. Everybody knows Logan's slogan is Goody Beats, but they don't always know Logan's name. So, really happy to have him on here today. I see you just popped in. Come on in, Mr. Goody Beats. Let's get you up on stage, and we'll have a nice conversation here today. Goody Beats. So he'll be in just a moment, you guys. We're also simulcasting over here on Clubhouse. What's up, my
Yo,
brother?
what's up? What's up, Jimmy? How are you?
Dude, I've got to match your energy today, which I
Look,
have good
I'm
energy.
on my third one. That's why I gotta bring. I
Which,
gotta bring it.
which flavor is that? Apple?
This is the apple. Yeah, this is a green apple. Yes.
Yeah, I like having those every once in a while just to kind of change things up and get a little boost. And of course, you're out there, getting all what do they call it? Ripped? I guess you're getting ripped. So.
Yes. I need it. Gives me a little boost. Actually, to be honest, it helps me keep up with my two little girls, who are just, I have a 2 and a 3-year-old. So for all you parents out there, they're just like spiders. They're climbing on the walls and everything. So, yes.
Yeah, those things get a little bit of a bad rap within like the keto space. They're like, oh, this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I mean, it's Jimmy. You know how you and I are OGs. Like
Yeah,
we're OGs, and we have seen things be demonized. We've seen things completely not be demonized. It constantly changes. This is what I've always believed in. Look, if it doesn't fit your lifestyle or your way to do the ketogenic diet, low carb, or just overall healthy lifestyle, don't do it. It's that simple. It's just the way things are, and you and I have been around it for years. Oh, don't eat this, don't eat that. It's like, hey, if it works for you, just do you.
dude, when I started, it was 2005 when I first started blogging. I did the Atkins diet in 2004, and everybody was pushing Splenda was like the big sweetener at the time. Stevia didn't exist yet. Aspartame was out there, but it was kind of like, we're having a little bit of questions about it. But it's so funny, like when you watch these things over a long period of time, like you and I have done, things just evolve. Something that was good just 5 years ago is suddenly, oh my God, it's the worst thing you could possibly have in your mouth.
Yep. Yep. And I think the easiest way to look at it is like this is what I tell people. This is my biggest philosophy. So yes, I love Monsters, energy drinks, and obviously they have sucralose in them. And people are like, "Oh no, sucralose is going to cause cancer. It's going to do all these things." Look, or it's going to do this and that. I always say this: most likely that one a day Monster or whatever you have, dairy, cheese, whatever, that's not the leading factor on why you are where you are. It's a multiple things. It's
Yeah.
your lifestyle. It is not your one energy drink. It is not your cream cheese. It is not your whatever you have. You fill in the blank. It's your overall lifestyle of why you are where you are, not because of that. But it's so easy. You and I have been in this community that they're very like, oh, well, it's got to be that. That's the reason why. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
it's you got to look at the bigger picture.
Can I tell you the people that meticulously lead their keto lifestyle worrying about every little thing that they're doing, that the stress from all that is far worse than any of those things ever are?
Dude, you couldn't have said it better. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Which is why, when people hit plateaus and they're saying, oh, well, I do this, I do that. But, we don't also know they are going through some hardship in the background that we may not know about. And so that's messing with stress, hormones, sleep, which are all huge factors in preventing weight loss and being overall healthy. That does more damage than a little simple Monster once a day would do. So,
Yeah.
yes, I'm very, very glad you said that.
Let me brag on you for a minute because I have known you in this space for a long time and you've known me in this space for a long time. And I like watching the different people in the community. You're one of the most genuine, real, authentic people, authentically happy. Yeah, guys, this is not a put on what he does. This big smile, this energy. Again, you're making me up my game today and I feel like I'm pretty good in energy and smile, but dude, like you are a bright spot. I don't know if anybody ever articulates that to you enough, that I know you won Ryan Lowry's Positivity Award. What was it, a year or so ago? You
Yeah,
got the
yeah, yeah,
from him.
yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, you really are doing great work. And I just think we need to honor people that are being salt and light in the world, because there's so much doom and gloom from a lot of people and fakery from a lot of people. And I don't get any of that vibe from you.
Yeah. No, I think, the number one reason why people, because people do ask me, Jimmy, like, oh, what, Logan, why are you so positive? Like, I'm like, well, look, first and foremost, I am no different from anybody. Anybody watching this, anybody going to watch this later, I am different than nobody. I got issues just like everybody else in this world, family issues, car issues, financial issues, hardships, relationship issues. I deal with it all. The only difference between me and the people that have those same issues is that I look on the positive. I think about all the things that I have in my life that money can't buy, like my family, my beautiful, healthy girls, my wife, my mom, my dad. I think about those things instead of thinking about all the like negatives, like, oh my gosh, well, my back hurts, my leg hurts. Oh, how are we going to pay this bill? How are we going to do this? Like, I don't think about those things. I think about all the positive stuff. And so that is literally where my positivity comes from, because Jimmy, again, and look, I know I sound like a broken record. People, I always share this story because it's the honest truth. Jimmy, there are people in this world who, like you and I, never have the opportunity to just walk up out of bed, get out of bed by ourselves, feed ourselves, go to the gym, go for a walk outside. There are people who will never have that opportunity because they were dealt with, a handicap, like my brother, who was dealt with cerebral palsies, who will never be able to walk. But Jimmy, if you ever meet my brother, he is the happiest person you will ever meet. The biggest smile, the biggest grin, happiest person in the world. But I promise you, he would do anything to live one day like the life that you and I get to live, and everybody that's in this live watching. And so I think about that. And so when I have those moments of like, oh, I don't want to get up, or whatever, think about stress or trauma or whatever that's going on, I think about, you know what? My brother is right now, he is happy, and he would do anything to be in the position I'm in. So how dare I even let those negative thoughts and vibes affect me? I'm going to get up and I'm going to live my life to the fullest, and I'm going to do it for him. And so that is where it comes from, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think people let life live them, Logan, rather than them living life. And people forget you have control of this right here. And this right here can change your perspective about, I don't care what the situation is. You could have just been in a car accident, in a hospital, on life support. You can decide, okay, doom and gloom, I'm going to die anyway, and be negative. Or you can go, you know what? I'm still here. I'm not doing well, but I'm still here. And I think sometimes people get in their own heads, and for some reason, the default is to the negative end. We want to reframe that today. Logan and I are on a mission. We have a mission, if you choose to accept it, to become positive about things that happen in your life. And what happens is your happiness improves, your inflammation lowers, your blood pressure lowers, your relationships strengthen. All the things that matter in life get better when you do that.
Absolutely. Couldn't said it better, Jimmy. You're 100% correct.
Well, let's get into more about you, because I know you've shared your story within your own platform before, but I've actually never interviewed you before. For people that are in my audience that may not know your story, those of you listening on the podcast, this is going to air on my podcast later, on the podcast, dude is buff as all get out. Like, think of a muscular person that's normal, not Arnold Schwarzenegger, but the most normal muscular person you've ever seen, triple the muscles, and you got Logan Delgado. So, but you weren't always this beefy guy. Tell us your story.
Let me share you my story. So it is a long story, but I'll make it simple. And this is how it all started. So, I always played sports in high school, so I was always somewhat fit, right? Like, because active, like that's what you do when you're young. Well, once high school was over, there's nobody telling you to go work out. There's no one telling you to go train. And so I just lived your typical American lifestyle, college lifestyle, living in an apartment with my buddies, Taco Bell at 2 in the morning, going out on the weekends, working out. What is working out? I have no idea what that is. Oh, you mean bicep curls? That's all we did. And I lived that lifestyle, sleeping till 2 in the morning, just a crazy lifestyle. I lived that up until I was about 26 years old, Jimmy. And I went to the doctor, and I remember they said, "Whoa, like, dude, you have high cholesterol. We need to put you on Crestor. You have high blood pressure. You are pre-diabetic, and you're borderline obese. You're 26 years old. What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh crap! Like, damn! Like, this is not good." And like everybody else who is going through their fitness journey, our weight loss journey, we all know what we have to do, but it's not that simple. It's not that simple. We all know we need to cut out the Chinese buffet, the going out on the weekends, the drinking the alcohol, the staying up all night. We all know that we need to stop that, but there was nothing there. I didn't have my why just yet. And I'm going to share this story, and this is a very embarrassing story. It took me a very long time to share this story actually on my platform, Jimmy. But I think it was good that I finally released it, and I finally told people about it 3 years later. So the honest truth of what sparked that fire underneath my ass was that back then in 2012, Facebook would recommend friends. Like, if you have a lot of people, friends, the same people, it's going to say, "Hey, you got a lot of people similar. You should probably be friends." Well, guess what? Who that person was? It was my wife's ex-boyfriend in high school. And it was him in the gym with his shirt off, and he looked like a bodybuilder. And here I was, with all those health issues. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this guy looks great. I cannot have him look better than me." And so what started off as something negative, because yes, that's not good for a foundation of being motivated by jealousy, envy, and hatred. It's not. But I am grateful for it. I'm glad it happened to me, because I turn all that negativity into something positive now, right? So that's what sparked me. So I screenshotted his picture. I know I'm like a psycho, crazy stalker person, right? So I screenshotted his picture, and I looked at it every single day on my phone, Jimmy. When I didn't want to go work out, I looked at his picture. When I didn't want to eat right, I looked at his picture. When I was at the gym and I'm like, I'm kind of over this, I'm ready to go, I looked at that picture. That did so much motivation for me, and so much fire, that it helped me get to my goal. And then while being in the gym, while learning about nutrition, I stumbled upon the ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting. I didn't even know I was doing intermittent fasting and the ketogenic diet when I was doing it. I met a gym buddy who was actually my boss at the time at the job. And I remember telling him, because this was the term back then in 2012, 2013, was, "I want to get shredded. We got to get shredded." Everybody was using that term. And so I told him, "Hey, I got to get shredded. What do I got to do?" Gives me a meal plan that's intermittent fasting and the ketogenic diet. Long story short, I got super shredded, lost tons of body weight, started talking about the ketogenic diet on my YouTube channel. And people were just fascinated by it because it was so kind of brand newish back then. And that is how it started. It started a YouTube channel. It became a keto channel. But that is how it all started. When people ask me what got you on the fitness journey, it was jealousy, envy, and hatred of my wife's ex-boyfriend. But fast forward 8 years later, I'm thankful for it. And I no longer have any animosity towards him. I don't actually, the funny story, I actually ran into him a couple years later down the road. I didn't tell him, but we shook hands and kind of did a little quick chat. But in my head, I'm thinking like, "Wow, man, you have no idea the impact you had on my life."
Dude,
But,
that is a great story. I don't think I've ever heard of somebody that printed out a picture of their girlfriend's or wife's
wife,
boyfriend and then stared at it every day. Like, that had to be weird for your girl to see you staring at the ex.
that's why it took me so long to talk about it, Jimmy, because I was almost embarrassed and ashamed of it because Jimmy, most macho guys, we're not gonna say we're jealous. I don't get jealous. I don't have envy. I don't have those emotions. I'm a dude. I'm a guy. And that's why it took so long it took me about, I want to say 3 years to finally share the story of what, yes, the doctor telling me I had all those health issues motivated me. Sure, it did. but it didn't light the fire, right? And so I figured, you know what, I need to share this story because I'm sure there's other guys out there that probably feel like me. And I did, and you're right, like it was a little bit embarrassing, but I'm glad I did it.
One of the commenters wrote, "Now your wife's ex has a picture of you."
Yes. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, it's come full circle. You might be right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, to this day, we're still not Facebook friends. And so, I mean, who knows? And who knows if he even knows about it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's weird if I ever see him, like, I wonder if he knows. I don't know. I don't know.
You had an ice cream made, a keto ice cream made with your photo on it. So like, that would be really funny if he goes, "Oh wow, what's this ice cream? Oh crap, that's my ex's new beau."
Yeah, I know, that would be hilarious. It's funny. It's funny how things happen.
Yes. Well, wow, what a great story. And yeah, hey, whatever motivates you. I don't think there's any wrong way to be motivated. When I was on my Atkins journey, there was a local radio show. The afternoon host said, I want to help 5 people lose a ton of weight. So they needed enough people that were big enough.
Yeah.
Call it Ralph's ton of weight loss challenge or something like that. And I was 400 plus pounds. So, okay, I was about a fifth of that. And so they got 5 of us that cumulatively weighed 2,000 pounds. And so I actually ended up winning the weight loss contest that year, mostly because the rest of them dropped off and weren't finishing the diet. I was like the last man standing, but I did lose by the end of the contest 140 pounds. So I think I was going to win anyway, but it is funny what motivates you. And I never would think an ex of my girl would be a motivation, but now I've heard it all. So,
Yeah.
so talk about bodybuilding, because this is another area that a lot of us schlubs that kind of want to be flip a tire and do a few things here and there, we kind of know a little bit of bump up protein, maybe a little strategic carbohydrate for that insulin response at just the right moment to build the muscle. How do you help people? Because I know you coach people in bodybuilding as well. How do you help them understand that higher carb, higher protein doesn't mean you're not keto anymore within the context of bodybuilding?
Yes. Okay. So let me start from the beginning. Jimmy, when I first started the ketogenic diet, I used to be terrified of carbs. So scared of carbs. Okay. To the point where I would freak out if I thought there was sugar or carbs or dextrose. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, just totally freak out about it. I have now obviously become more educated on the ketogenic diet, metabolic flexibility, and overall just nutrition. I no longer look at carbs as an enemy, just like as anybody who does a low-fat diet shouldn't look at fat as an enemy. I look at everything now as a tool. Everything is a tool to me. Carbs are a tool. Fats are a tool. Proteins are a tool. And so I help my clients understand that. And so I always tell them, like, look, if you do keto, it doesn't mean you have to be in ketosis 24/7. Keto is it's a state of your body's yes, exactly. Sorry, I'm blanking out here. And so if you're not in ketosis for an hour or two or whatever that may be, it's okay. That's totally fine. And
And
so I try.
it could be argued it's better that you go in and out, in and out, in and out to create that flexibility rather than
Yes,
stay in. And then when you get kicked out, it's more of a shock to the system if your body's not used to being in and out, in and out, in and out.
exactly. And so that is what I'm a big believer in now, Jimmy. I am not scared of carbs. I look at carbs as a tool. For me,
Yeah.
I lost tons of weight. I lost 70. I didn't lose 100 and something pounds, but I lost 70 pounds during my weight loss journey. I lost 70 pounds, and I no longer need to lose any more weight. So now your goals change, right? So through your journey, your goals are going to change. So I lost 70 pounds. I now want to build muscle. And so, but I also want to live this ketogenic lifestyle and low carb lifestyle. I like it. I like the way my body feels, and it's just what I prefer to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know the importance that carbohydrates play on that building muscle. And so for me as a bodybuilder, low carb lifestyle liver, I introduce carbs before my workout and after my workout. And that is what we call targeted ketogenic diet.
Yeah.
There are many do the ketogenic diet. You know, you have cyclo keto, which is like one refeed day, not a cheat day, refeed day. Then you have strict keto. I mean, there's definitely all types of ways to do it. But I just tell people, like, don't be scared if you get knocked out of ketosis. Carbs are not the enemy. Fat's not the enemy. Protein's not the enemy. Use these tools to help you get to your goal. Because look, if you follow someone else's macros, that's the biggest mistake you can make, because they are not your macros.
Yeah.
They are not. You could be getting two same people. Let's just say they are the same stats as far as like age, weight, and height. That still doesn't mean anything. This person can have a bunch of health issues. This person could be pounding rocks for a living. This person sits at a desk all day. I mean, there's so many variables, right? And so you need to just try things for yourself, is what I'm a huge believer in, is what I tell my clients. You need to just try things, experiment on yourself. Just because something is working for someone else doesn't mean it's going to work for you, or vice versa. Doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. So just be open-minded, play around with things, and don't let anybody tell you that you're doing the ketogenic diet wrong. You tell them, no, I'm doing the ketogenic diet my way.
One of my favorite things you do on your Instagram page, for those of you listening on the podcast, it's at Goody Beats, GOODYBEATS. I want to ask you where you came up with that in a minute, but one of my favorite things you do on that page is when you make reels. So those of you that aren't familiar with Instagram, reels is kind of TikTok for Instagram. And so you make these little reels where you're in a restaurant. All right, guys, watch this. And you like put together a little meal and you go, how cool is this? And then you start eating. Like, those are so engaging because it shows keto in the real world. It also shows Logan living keto his way in the real world. Those are some of the best things. Those are the things I remember about your work the most, quite frankly.
I want to talk about one of these reels, because this is kind of goes to our point about how I said don't ever let anybody tell you you're doing something wrong. So, Jimmy, one of my reels went viral, but it went viral on a troll's page. So a troll picked it up because I was essentially showing people that, look, at the time, it's okay. So look, I have nothing against eating pizza. If you want to eat pizza, eat pizza. It doesn't matter to me, okay? I don't care. Eat whatever you want to eat. But at the time, I didn't want to eat pizza. So I was just showing people, like, look, I'm at a pizza buffet.
Yes.
I didn't pick this restaurant. We're here for a birthday party, but I want to be here. I don't want to just sit around and not be the only one eating. So I just scraped the pizza, the top off the pizza. I was just simply showing people that that's an option that you can do. And another page that trolls on people's fitness device picked it up, and it got over 1 million plus views of this person trolling me, telling like, there are people that this is the stupidest thing that I've ever seen. Like, eat the fucking pizza. Like, this guy is so full of shit. Like, what's wrong with you? And it also got picked up on a TikTok trolls page as well for doing the same thing. And I kind of made it just a laughable response. Just like, okay, you want me to eat the pizza? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. Are you happy now? Like, just joking around and being like, look, guys, at the end of the day, like, it's not that serious. If you want to eat a pizza, eat a pizza. If you don't do it. Don't ever feel pressured into doing something you don't want to do. And if other people think it's stupid and crazy, fine. I'm cool with that. That's great. But like, I refuse to, like, I don't put up with trolls. I don't put up with anything. Like, if someone writes a stupid comment on my page, you're gone. I don't care. And I've get people like that have been like, oh, well, Logan, you can't take criticism. No. It's not that I can't take criticism. It's that this is my space. This is my safe space. This is where I come to be positive. This is where I come to be happy and engage with my friends and talk to people that are like-minded and positive and spreading nothing but positive energy. I don't have time for naysayers and doubters and trolls. Like, boom, you're out. Like, get out of here. Like, I want everybody that's listening to this, understand this. You control your environment.
Yes.
You are the controller. You are the master of your environment. So if you have somebody that is constantly picking on you, constantly doubting you, constantly giving you negativity, let me tell you right now, you may think that it's not affecting you, but it is. Get rid of it. Get it out of your life. I only want to be surrounded by positive people like Jimmy, like my friends, like my coworkers, like just people that are going to bring me up, not try to bring me down. So
Yes.
you control your environment and don't ever feel weird or bad about blocking people or saying no.
And you made a reel the other day that even I went. It was the one where the bromance. I know it was a total punk, but it was so. Guys, go watch it.
Me and my friend Ross. We like to just make funny. I mean, haven't you noticed, like, social media has changed so much, Jimmy, since you and I first started.
Yeah.
You know, when you and I first started, it was all about being like proper and doing this and doing that. Nowadays, it's all about, can you make someone laugh?
Yes.
That's what it's all about. Humor now. That is what it's all about. And we just try to make funny videos and joke around and yes, that was a bromance for sure. But it's all about just at the end of the day having a good time. And I'm so glad. And me and Ross talked about that. We were kind of talking. We're like, you know what? Like, this is literally what we do for a living. How cool is that? Like, how fun is that? That's what it's all about. Like, being able to do what you love and create a career off of it because you're so passionate about it. And some of them, are a little edgy and funny, but at the end of the day, it's all just fun. It's all just light humor.
Oh, when you see some of the banality of some of these like Gen Z and even some of the millennials on TikTok, I'm like, I'll take what you offer, because some of that is just so, okay, what was the point of that? I don't get it. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, by the way, I give the haters one step before I just get rid of them like that. If they're just really ugly and personal, yeah, they're gone. I'm not putting up with that bullshit on my page. I'm the
You have
hater.
more tolerance than me, Jimmy. You have more tolerance than me, for sure. I got to give you mad respect. I've seen people like try to say something, and then you'll just calmly, like, you don't curse or you don't say, you just respond to them and politely, give your opinion and say, like, well, I'm sorry, but if you'd like to do this, and they get so mad. They get so mad because they want you to react the way they reacted. And when you don't give them that, it drives them nuts. It drives them absolutely nuts.
And that's my power, is I like staying calm in the storm. So what I do is I give them one chance to maybe like rethink and reframe. And sometimes, Logan, this is why I do it. Sometimes they'll come back and go, oh my God, you're right. That came across worse than I expected. Oh, thank you for calling me out. This is what I meant to say, da 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 da. And it's like, wow, like that's how you can change people. But then if they come back double barrel shotgun, okay, I'm blocking your ass and you're out of here. And I have no shame about that, and neither should anybody.
No, nobody should. You should never feel guilty for blocking anybody that's messing with your vibes. Like,
yeah,
I'm a big believer in it, man, because you could be around 10 positive people, but you have one negative person in your circle, it will ruin everything.
yes,
It will destroy everything. It takes only one person. And you get it. Like, look, I've been doing YouTube for years, and YouTube's pretty it can be brutal. It can be brutal with the comments, right? But for the most part, I get, positive feedback, right? I can look at 30 positive feedbacks, and if one person writes something negative, that sticks with me for the rest of the day, right? And it's like, Logan, what am I doing? You just had all this positive feedback, and you're gonna let one little negative comment affect your mood now for the rest of the day. And so then now, I'm with my daughters and I'm with my family, and I'm not really there because I'm just thinking about what that person said. Like, you know, it will ruin everything. So I've learned now to just block it, delete it. I am not going to let someone else's opinion affect my mood, dictate my mood, and affect my loved ones, moods as well. So
You know what happens is they see people like you and me as caricatures rather than human beings, and I'm all the time trying to remind my audience, look, we're people too. Jimmy and Logan, we have to put our pants the same way as you do. We got struggles in our life, same as you do. Like,
yes.
I think sometimes they see us out there publicly and they're like, well, their life's all figured out. Everything's just peachy keen. And because of the fame that both of them have, they just have to put up with it. I actually had somebody tell me that last week about something that was said to me. And, well, that's the price you pay for being famous online. I'm like, fuck you. No.
Yeah, no,
No.
no. I'm a human. I have emotions, just like everyone else. And so, but that's what, that's what I like about, hey, it's a simple block button. Simply
Yeah.
block, and that's it.
Well, let's shift gears a little bit because I know one of the things that is a passion of yours right now is diabetes in America and how it's out of control. And to me, it's needlessly out of control because we've long known that the biggest instigator in your blood sugar and your insulin levels and your inflammation levels and the insulin resistance that then develops over time into type 2 diabetes is carbohydrate. Like, why are we surprised by that? And the only bright spot we have in this, Logan, is the American Diabetes Association at least acknowledges now that carbohydrate restriction is a way, not the way, a way to control diabetes. So we're making little bits of progress, but it's still the #2 killer in America.
Yeah, it is. There should be a diabetes pandemic, there should be people should be talking about that. Unfortunately, diabetes is going nowhere, and it just is raging in America at an outrageous amount. And so personally, I can speak on it because I will tell you this, Jimmy. I don't know if you know this, but I have a pretty big Mexican family. I got a lot of family members, and unfortunately, a lot of them have diabetes.
You posted a picture the other day. I love my family, and it's like all this like 50 people. I'm like, holy crap! I've got 2 people in my life that are family. Everybody else is gone.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, and that was nothing, Jimmy. That was just a small gathering.
Wow.
So I have a lot of family members, and they all struggle with health issues, and a lot of them deal with type 2 diabetes. And so what I've learned from talking to them, I just want to just pick their brain. I'm like, what is going on in their head as far as like, what do they know about diabetes? Do they know how to prevent it? And what is like the expert doctor telling them? And so I'm talking to like my family members, and what I've come to the conclusion is that they're not educated. They're not taught. They're simply saying, you have diabetes, here's some insulin. You have diabetes, here's some medication. Nothing about diet, nothing about nutrition, nothing about exercise, nothing about all these different ways to battle your type 2 diabetes and prevent your type 2 diabetes other than here's medication, here's insulin. So when it really, really hit me hard is my sister, she's currently pregnant right now, and she developed gestational diabetes, which is not a shocker because I've seen the way she eats, right? So I go visit her, and I'm watching her. She pulls out her glucose meter, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I want to see what she does. Let me see. This is because I'm in this space. For those of you who don't know, I myself and my business partner Matt Payne, we own a company called Keto Coach, which specializes in medical devices. We will have a glucose meter very, very soon. Can't talk about it. We're in FDA right now, but very, very soon. But anyways, go back to my point. I see her and I'm like, this is interesting. Let me see what she's doing. So she goes, she checks her blood sugar, gets her reading, pulls out her little paper, her little notepad, writes it down, puts everything back, then goes to the kitchen and makes a hot Cheeto sandwich. And I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? Like, what did the doctor tell you to do? Like, did they explain to you, depending on what number you get, probably should determine what foods you eat? No, she just said, just write down, take a reading 3 times a day and write it down, and she'll talk to me in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
going on? What is
Yeah.
going on? And so, yes, I'm very passionate about this, Jimmy, because we are going to create a system. We are currently creating a system right now, as we speak, that is going to help people like my sister, help people like my family members, how to literally teach them how to combat their type 2 diabetes without insulin, without medication, doing it through nutrition, doing it through diet. And the biggest problem is, and I totally get it, everybody wants the easy way, Jimmy. And it's just the way our culture is. It's just the way people are. We want the path of least resistance. And we are going to create a system for that. We are going to make it so easy for you. We are going to, yeah, go ahead. Go.
Well, I was going to say, what's amazing to me is we have all these classifications of diseases. We have type 2 diabetes, we have heart disease, we have PCOS, we've got obesity, we've got all of these things that, Logan, quite frankly, at the end of the day, are the same damn disease. It's
Yeah,
insulin resistance. And so I wish somehow, and I know functional medicine doctors do this well, but the mainstream medicine, I mean, they're hopelessly lost in their own banality of how they think, of thinking all these things are separate entities. They're the same disease with the same answer. That's
yeah,
why people like you and I are so passionate, is we see the connection, and yet people go to the doctor and they get diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic because they've got a 6.9 A1C or 7.7, or some people even much higher. And then they're like, okay, whatever you tell me, doc. And then the doc doesn't really give them clear instructions about bolus of insulin. And like, I remember somebody in my life, he was seeing his blood sugar high, and he didn't have any food ready or anything. He just shot himself with a bunch of insulin. Next thing you know, what happened? He went hypo.
yeah,
And then, like, we're like, eat carbohydrate, eat something fast acting that will get your blood sugar back up. And we were like, why did you take that big dose of insulin? Well, my doctor said when my blood sugar's high, I should dose myself with insulin. And I'm like, he didn't tell you what it was and what it was
yep,
for.
nope,
The lack of education and the passing on of education from doctors who should know better to the people trying to manage a disease that could be controlled by diet and lifestyle
yep.
is, to me, that's a travesty. And you're right, it's a pandemic that we've ignored for decades.
Yeah, and you know, Jimmy, and to even take a step further back, for me, it's much bigger than just the non-education part of it. Most people who deal with diabetes are minorities. Okay,
Yeah.
for my family members, a lot of my families, I can speak to my family members, and for myself, we didn't go to college. Okay, we didn't go to and get educated on nutrition. All we were taught was like, look, you go to work, you work that 9 to 5. You got to work 2 jobs. You work 2 jobs. Whatever you got to do to put food on the table. And so, for a lot of my family members, it's not that they're not only is that they're not educated, it's like they're too busy just trying to survive life. They're too busy trying to work 2 jobs, support their families, put food on the table, that they don't have time to learn about type 2 diabetes and nutrition and lifestyle. We're just like that. For my culture, Jimmy, for my Mexican culture, that's
Yeah.
what we're taught from the beginning as we're young. You get up in the morning, you go to work, you do what you got to do to support your family. Nowhere do they talk about living healthy. Nowhere do they talk about nutrition. And so I feel like for people who deal with type 2 diabetes in that community are people like my family, the minorities, the less educated, who are just, they work so much that they don't have time. And so that's why I get so passionate about
Yeah.
creating a program and this system that we are currently developing, because I'm going to create something that's going to be easy for them, that they won't have to do anything extra. Depending on what their number says, boom, I put, depending on what that number says, boom, you just got a grocery shopping list update from
Yeah.
the local grocery store that's close to you. Let's just say Walmart. Boom, all the foods are in your cart. ready to go pick up. You just hit confirm. No brainer. It's a no brainer. We are going to make it so simple and easy. I don't want to hear the excuses from my family members saying, because this is what I was hearing from them when I was talking to them about it. Like, oh, you know, like, yeah, mijo. They call me mijo, which is like little boy in Spanish. Oh, mijo, I'm just, you know, I'm tired. I work all day, and the last thing I want to do is cook, and so I just want to go to McDonald's. Okay, no problem. You know what? That's fine. I'm not going to lose you. Just because you don't want to go home and cook, I'm not going to lose you. I'm going to still give you a chance. Okay, bam, you want to go to McDonald's? Okay, here's your McDonald's cart. I put 2 bunless burgers in there with a water and a salad. There you go. So they'll always have options, whether they want to cook, whether they want to go to fast food. It doesn't matter. Anything's better than the lifestyle they were living. And so I'm very passionate about it, man, because I know it's going to help my people, my family
Keto
members.
Chow is a customizable shake mix that is also perfect for cooking and baking, giving you simple, nutritionally perfect meal options. Keto Chow. Make keto easy. Discover your favorite flavor at jimmylovesketochow.com.
I cannot wait till that comes out, and definitely will help you promote that when it's ready to go. Miss Chike said, I've tried to motivate my stepfather, who is diabetic, to try a keto lifestyle with fasting, but he's a diehard Mexican, does not eat food can be eaten without tortillas. And I've heard that a lot culturally, and even within the Black community, there's a lot of like culture around food. And it's unfortunate that there's genetic predispositions based on those cultures and races, but also it's just cultures and races having their own food culture that then contributes to it, and breaking free from that. And I know there's people working on like keto empanadas and kind of different alternatives to make that your excuse of, well, that's my culture, I have to have beans and rice and tortillas. To me, that's a cop out. There's definitely ways to get around it, honoring your culture of your people without destroying your health in the process.
Exactly. I'm glad you read that question, because I really want to talk about this. And this is something that's like, I'm passionate about, and it breaks my heart. So Jimmy, obviously there's no other woman other than my wife, my girl, my daughters, that I love more than my mother. Okay. I love my mother to death. She struggles every single day with lupus, with health issues that I know 95% are all from nutrition.
Yeah.
She's seen me transform my life. She's seen the lifestyle I live. She knows what I do for a living, which is to help people, inspire people, change up their life by diet and nutrition. She sees that more than anybody, Jimmy. She's come to me multiple times to try to help her change because she's in so much pain. Jimmy, whenever I touch my mom, like on her arms or her body, she's burning up. And why do you think that is? It's the inflammation.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's days I call her, I'm like, what's going on? It's just one of those days. Her body is just in so much pain. It breaks my heart, Jimmy, that there is nothing I can do. You cannot force somebody to change their lifestyle. And I know this better than anybody because I've made meal plans for my mom. I get sent keto stuff every day from keto companies. And I just give it to my mom because I'm like, look, just anything that will try to help her. It doesn't work until that person has to make the decision. And so I understand what you just said. It breaks my heart because I know how you feel. You want to desperately help your father. I want to desperately help my mom. I would do anything to stop my mother's pain, to stop when I see her just walking around wobbling because her knees are in so much pain because she's overweight. But yet I see her every Sunday. I see her 3 times a week. And what is she doing? Eating crap. And there's nothing I can do. I can't tell her. I've tried everything to the point where there was a time where I would not shame her, but almost get upset. Like, really, Mom? Is this what you're going to eat? Yeah. And it made a strain in our relationship. And I'm like, wait, I I don't like how me and my mother's relationships come. She's almost being scared to be around me because she thinks I'm going to say something about the way she's eating. And I don't want that, but I also want to help her. And so all I can say to everyone who's listening to this is that all you can do is just be an open book for them. All you can do is just be open arms for them. All you can do is like say, look, Mom, I'll be here when you're ready. And if you need any help, if you need any tips, I'll be here. But they have to make that decision. Yeah. Nobody can make that decision for them.
Yeah, I stopped feeling guilty about family members not doing well with keto. They know about it. They know how to find me. And what's funny, Logan, is they'll come to me and they're real excited. And of course, I tell them, I'm like, I help complete strangers every single day on the internet. I can definitely help my mom. I can definitely help. And I'm thinking back to my brother back in 2008. He died at 41 of morbid obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. And so he had this condition that low carb could have helped with. And that was shortly after I had done my weight loss and started blogging and podcasting. And he got excited. He would feel a little bit better. And then suddenly, and you know, this is a telltale sign if you're the keto person in your life out there watching this and listening, they go silent on you. And it's that whole, I don't want you to judge me thing. And like my mom has even said that, oh, I didn't call you because I didn't want you to judge me. I'm like, why would I judge you? Like, that's your journey. I mean, I want you to be healthy, but I'm not going to sit here and judge you. I'm not the carb police. I don't care about that stuff. I see enough of that bullshit online. I don't care about all that. Yeah. Just that I'm here for you. And yes, you're right. Live by example. And when they are ready, they'll know where to come.
Exactly.
Let's hit one more part. And you mentioned your company, Keto Coach, which, by the way, guys, if you're using any other ketone meter as a blood meter other than Keto Coach, switch now. Because
what are y'all doing?
I can tell you, like, I've tested all of them, dude. Like, when I started testing nutritional ketosis, all there was, this is 2011, 12, somewhere in there, all there was the Precision Extra. And then other ones have come along, and I'm not going to say their names. You know what they are. Yep. And they're not as accurate. I'm sorry, not sorry. They're not as accurate. And I started using yours, and it was one of the best ones that I came across. And I'm all the time telling people, you didn't pay me for this, by the way. I'm not a sponsor. He's not a sponsor or anything. But I love good products. And I think the Keto Coach meter, and I love that you're working on a glucose meter as well, although you've been working on it a few years ago.
It's been 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years going with the FDA. And anybody who knows anything about medical devices, because it is considered a medical devices, the FDA puts you through a rigorous process, and the process takes 3 months. We have a Bluetooth feature. There are constant new security Bluetooth features coming probably every 3 months, right? So guess what? When you're up and there's a new Bluetooth security feature, back
all
to
over.
And it's been like that for 2 years. Well, then unfortunately, we were back up in the front of the line. Then COVID happened.
Right.
And FDA said, we are not looking at anything new up until next year because we're all going to focus on COVID stuff. And so it's literally been 3 years, Jimmy. And we think July, we're going to get the go-ahead. We were in tears, literally in tears, when we got the email that we're finally being reviewed because it has been 3 years in the making. We have talked to lawyers. We've done everything because they are just, it's always something new. It's something new. And what's so frustrating, Jimmy, what you just said, there's a reason why we're the most accurate. It's because we're updated to all the new standards. It is so frustrating knowing that you cannot come out with something new, yet all the other companies are still able to run still do their things, and they're grandfathered in because they don't have to have any Bluetooth security. That's why their meter is not accurate, because they're all like with the old standards and they get grandfathered in. They don't have to update their stuff. And so it's been very, very, very frustrating, but we are finally coming to the end.
Is it ketocoach.io? What's the website?
KetoCoachX.com.
KetoCoachX.com, you guys. So yeah, it was hard when you created Keto Coach. I'm like, man, everybody and their mama has Keto Coach, like something.
Yeah, it was a little confusing at first, but I think people pretty much have figured it out. Also, Jimmy, I know you're really big in intermittent fasting. For those of you, we also have a fasting app that is free to join. And we have coaches on there. Myself, Dr. Jamie Seaman,
Yeah.
Dr. Fabulous, Danny Vega,
Yep.
Keto Savage, Robert Sykes. We have Myra, Low Carb Love.
Yep.
We have a bunch of coaches. Drew Manning on there constantly doing new challenges. So if you love challenges, and I mean, we're talking all kinds of challenges from meditation, 10,000 steps, clean keto, OMAD, extended fasting, all types of challenges on there on the Fast Coach app. So you can track your fasting levels, your glucose levels, your ketone levels, and your energy levels all in one app and participate in challenges with those coaches.
What's the name of the app?
Fast Coach app, and it is on the Google and Apple store, and it is a free app to download.
Fast Coach app, you guys go check that out. And yes, I am a huge fan of fasting. So, well, one more thing before we go. So, a big part of your charm is you're a real guy with a real life. You've talked about them already. You got a happy marriage, you got happy kids, and yet you're also a burgeoning entrepreneur with Keto Coach and other projects that you're a part of. You talk about all the time getting things sent to you. You do all this content and videos and all this. That takes time. How do you balance staying healthy, staying a good father, staying happy in your marriage, juggling all the balls? It seems to me that that's a recipe for not healthy, but you make it work. How?
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, that is when I tell you guys that I am just like everyone else. I have issues. Those are the biggest issues, Jimmy, that me and my wife, my family struggle with. Because you're right, Jimmy, like you just said, I'm a YouTuber. I own my own business. I do my own coaching. I don't have anybody working for me. I don't have anybody running my emails. I don't have anybody filming for me. I don't have anybody editing for me. It is all just a one-man show, okay? So, yes, Jimmy, there are times that my wife's like, look, you're not here. You're not here enough. And when you are here, you're just on your phone. And I get it. Like, you're right. Like, it is so hard to unplug. And those are just things that I constantly struggle with making sure that when I am with my family, I'm actually with my family, not on my phone, not, texting or scrolling. It is a constant struggle. And there is no I can't tell you oh, I figured it out, Jimmy, because there's days where I figured it out. And there's times where as of right now, we're trying to get ready for that July 1st potential date. And so we're working all kinds of hours and I can just see it in my wife's eyes, just kind of gives me that look like, put the phone down and be with us. And so,
what happened was last year with the pandemic, it forced people to reevaluate certain things in their life. And one of the coolest trends that's come out of that, I don't know if you noticed this, but more and more people spontaneously just got off social media and they did the whole social media detox. That's hard for Jimmy because I've been at this 17 years, Logan. It's hard for me to break part from it, but I did for 6 months, September 2019 until March of 2020. I was away 6 months. Not one time did I get on social media. Not one time did I record a podcast, all the things that I do. And I thought it was going to drive me batty, and it was the most peaceful. I had stuff happen in the midst of that, but the mindset that it was going to be overwhelming, it wasn't. It was wonderful. And so I've tried to build in to my regular schedule, regular periods of just getting away from this from time to time, chunks at a time. And I think we need that. Our bodies and our brains were not meant to be stimulated so much, so often. So it's good that you kind of recognize that. And you've got a wife that's like, bruh.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Check for sure. So, but yeah, like I said, I love what I do. I wake up every day with a passion, and I'm so blessed and grateful that I'm able to say that this is what I do for a living, and I love it. And there is no perfect there's never any like perfect time or like, oh, you figured it out, you're living the perfect life. Like, no, it's a constant adjustments and reacting and just every day you have to constantly put in effort into everything, family, wife, YouTube, because you know how hard social media is. It changes like that. So I'm very blessed and thankful that I'm able to do this. And I wouldn't change anything for the world, man.
Well, I am glad that Logan Delgado is out there doing his work. Guys, go follow him at Goody Beats, GOODYBEATS. Oh, I didn't ask. Where'd that come from? What is Goody Beats?
Yeah, it has literally nothing to do with fitness. Like I was telling you in the beginning of the story, that crazy lifestyle that I was living with the apartment and Taco Bell and sleeping all night. Well, my roommates, instead of saying what's up, we would always say, yo, what's goody? Like, what's goody for tonight? What do we get? Like, pretty much mean like, what are we getting into tonight? And so it just became like the theme of the apartment. Anybody who came in, we got people saying that, like, yo, what's goody? What's goody? Anyways, so back then I used to like, I don't know, I wanted to make beats. I know it sounds crazy, right? I wanted
beatbox.
Kind of like how like Kanye would make beats for rappers, like stuff like that. Like you would produce beats. I don't know. Call me crazy. I don't know. I went through a little phase in my life. I was like, oh, that's what I want to do. Like I'm gonna make beats, and that'd be so cool. And then I was like, okay, what should my name be? And since we were always saying Goody, I'm like, oh, Goody Beats. That's gonna be my name. I'm gonna make awesome beats. That crash was a disaster. And then I don't know, like that name just stuck with me. Like every time you make a Twitter or like you make a new profile, it asks you for a username. I would just like, you know what, I'm gonna be called Goody Beats, and it just stuck. And it's so weird now. Like Jimmy, everywhere I go, like if I'm at HEB or I'm at Walmart or wherever, people are like, they just call me Goody. Like, yo, Goody. And so it's almost weird now, Jimmy, when someone says Logan, I'm like,
yes.
Who's this?
I didn't even know your name at KetoCon. I knew Goody Beats.
Yeah, everyone just calls me Goody, and so like I've stuck with it. It's cool, whatever. So like people will be somewhere, and if someone's on the phone, it's like, oh yeah, no, it's me, Danny, Robert, and Goody. Or like it's weird if they call me Logan. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know.
Although Robert, I call Keto Savage all the time. Danny. So
yeah. If Keto Savage watches this, him and I are like, we're brothers. We always pick on each other. So if Robert's watching this, I always just call Little Robert. This is what I call him. Little Robert.
Yes. And Jamie is definitely Dr. Fit and Fabulous. That's how
yes.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed listening and watching Logan today. Logan, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate sincerely all the work that you do. You are a legit human being. And I hope people felt that today. I wrote a little blurb about you before we came on the air, and I said, you don't just hear Logan, you feel him. And I think we all felt you today.
Nice. That's what's the goal, man. So Jamie, thank you for having me. This was literally, we've been talking for an hour. It felt like 5 minutes. I could do another hour. Let's go. Let me go get a drink. This was fun. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You might need another monster for that, bro.
Buddy.
Actually, real life, I've got to go pee now. So it's like, it's TMI. TMI.
We'll see y'all.
Bye, guys. Hey guys, you know I'm all about healthy nutrition, and I have a brand new product I want to tell you about called Athletic Greens. This is not just a multivitamin. It has 75 essential elements that you want to have in your diet, from probiotics to greens to digestive enzymes to prebiotics. There's so many things that they pack into the Athletic Greens. The main reason why I love them is it puts it all in one place. Like literally you'd have to a la carte buy all of these different supplements, and they do it all in one package. So if you go to athleticgreens.com/Jimmy, and you can get a special discount if you go there. And the discount is you get a free 1-year supply of their vitamin D, as well as some of their travel packs. Go check it out, you guys. athleticgreens.com/Jimmy.